Vi racconto questa storia.
I'll tell you this story. It's a story from a tradition I love very much, a tradition that has been very careful throughout centuries to stay a tool, not to become a creed or a religion, against which we have nothing, because passing by the elementary school, we love elementary school.
Ok. Ed è lo Zen.
I'm talking about Zen, which doesn't belong to any traditions, in spite of coming from noble Buddhism. But it was very careful in saying, we are not Buddhists, we do not believe in Zen, we are an instrument that brings you beyond the mind.
Per tutte le...
For all people who feel a profound call. Believing in Zen makes no more sense than believing in a water tap. Open it, wash yourself, drink. But do not venerate it. Otherwise, there is something wrong. It's a story. Beautiful story. Of a well. A well hidden in the shades, where people went to draw water, where monks went to draw water for the temple. You'll know it, this story. In this well, there is a snake. In Japan, in ancient Japan, there were very dangerous snakes, whose bites could kill you in a moment. In ancient times, there was no serum, no syringe, no ER. Hence, people were very afraid of snakes.
E quindi questa storia racconta del fatto...
This story tells about water missing from the temple, as no monk wants to draw water, because there is a snake. It's almost a trivial story. The master, symbol of one side of yourself, not a symbol of someone dressed like a master giving you the diploma. Rather simply, a deep side of me says to the students, don't you see, it's just a rope. Hence, this trivial story, this apparent trivial story, the mastery within us, symbolized by the master in the Zen story. The mastery within us sees that that's only a rope, it's not a snake. Which means it sees that where I see a danger, a problem, I do not have to overcome it. Rather, I have to see that the problem is not real. This is the direct way.
Nella via diretta,
in the direct way, I do not improve. I do not become better and better. I do not feel less and less fear. I see it's just a rope. In this leap, I do not have to improve in time. It's something happening in no time. It's not the result of your effort. I am an obnoxious Roman boor, and I tell it to you like this. There is a monk sitting and saying, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. I can face a snake. People live this way and call it spirituality. Spirituality is all about seeing it is not a snake. What are you doing? Do you understand? You're attending a self-defense course against snakes. But it is a rope. You're training to overcome snakes. There is no snake.
questa è la via diretta.
This is the direct way. It doesn't belong to any religion, yet all cores of all tradition and religions have always been this, the direct way. There is no snake. It's just a rope. In the indirect way, respected by the direct way, you have less and less fear, step by step. What is the problem? The problem is that you believe you are that little I, as we would say in MPA, who is feeling less and less fear and who eventually is ready to face the snake. He has been practicing martial arts. He's ready to dodge the blows of the snake. For years, he has been getting ready to face the snake. Over the years, he has become able to say, "I will overcome the snake." Meanwhile, in those years, the temple died of thirst. That is, thinking that's a snake, you die of thirst. And you let others around you die of thirst. While you think you have to overcome your fears, step by step, you'll be more and more ready to overcome them at the end of a path that lasts a very long time.
Basta.
Enough. In that enough lies the direct way. What is necessary? Just one thing. Your maturity, which in the new consciousness substitutes the believing. Loving the belief, not being against it. So, when you see it's just a rope, how can you beat those who think it's a snake? Or how can you think they are your opponents? At most, you want to convey, with loving kindness, that it's just a rope. Yet, you cannot convey a path through which you have defeated the snake.
Perché non c'è nessun serpente.
Because there is no snake. I am talking about one single thing, but it is a very misunderstood word. I say it anyways. You don't have tomatoes to throw at me, right? I am talking exclusively about enlightenment. But your head is full of concepts about enlightenment, on how it will help you overcome snakes, on how you'll be stronger than snakes once enlightened. Here's why something beyond your efforts cannot happen.
Allora, se così è,
If it is like this, it means that enlightenment doesn't come as a big spiritual effort, but as a fall of every effort. I do not have to get ready to face a snake, but I have to see it is just a rope. What a wonder this story is. Can you see how profoundly spiritual it is? It's touching. It brings emphasis on one thing only: to see reality beyond what seems to me to be real.
è solo una corda.
It is just a rope. Please, bring this small story inward within, a story you'll have listened to many times and more. Bring it home with you in your daily life, because this shows and creates an inner lightening of consciousness. I mean a marvelous glimmer of light, unexpected in the sky, showing us that the direct way is simply seeing, without fighting against anything, without being cross with those thinking it is a snake, or with those attending the self-defense course against snakes. It is just a rope. What happens in the story? Suddenly, the temple gets very refreshing water again.
Il tempio sei tu.
The temple is you. It's not a monastery in a beautiful Japanese forest. It's also that, and in the old consciousness you believe truth lies there and not here. But in the new consciousness the temple is you. So you start having little vital energy. No water. Flowing water symbolizes life, right? We know that, biologically, life on Earth comes from water. Wonderful animals came out of water a long time ago. It's beautiful. Jacques Mayol, a great free diver, says all of us will go back to water. I have no idea if we're going to have a mask and fins, but we will go back to water. In this story, you run out of water. While you buy a water bottle, you have no water, no vital energy. because you're taking an illusion for reality. So, you think that going to the well is dangerous. Do you see the fear in this story? What if I told you, I'll teach you how to be less and less scared of snakes? Am I helping you overcoming fear or am I strengthening it? So, you see, if you can comprehend, if you can have inner clicks, you'll see that sometimes an apparent improvement is in fact a worsening. Meaning, when I feel I have less and less fear, I could delude myself to be that little I, less and less afraid of snakes. From the perspective of an indirect way, relatively speaking, seen through the eyes of someone else, unless it's eyes that truly see, I could seem to be more and more self-confident. At a deeper level, though, I am believing to be that little I which improves over time. This can hinder the rise of no time in time. That, perhaps, is the esoteric symbol of the cross, the descent of no time in the horizontal dimension of time. Isn't this what the noble Rosicrucians say? So, while I go training at the gym to overcome snakes, I think that that snake is real, as I train for months to face it. Thus, when you train for months to face your fears, you are deluding yourself, you're expanding your fears, you're not going to overcome them. You are strengthening them. So, in the direct way, there is simply a big thud. Do not do it now. And in this big thud, everything that seemed real is seen as what it really is. So, instead of seeing myself as that person who's getting better and better, a space for eternity beyond the person arises, which is the being I am. And who loves those fearful eyes, but who has eventually seen clearly that that's not who that being is. In this seeing, an extraordinary peace occurs, not belonging to this world. A peace, however, which can be experienced and lived in this world.